I created this MCP server with 3 different actions. I'm calling them actions, but in MCP terminology, they are known as tools. Within Pabbly MCP, you can actually add any action step that you have in any workflow as a tool inside the MCP server. And you can see I actually added 3 different tools in my MCP. Our first action is to add new row to customer sheet. Another action is to add new row to vendor sheet. And the third tool is just to do a ChatGPT prompting, right? This is the server URL. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this server URL and I'm going to go to the OpenAI playground, and this is actually an API playground. You can actually reach out to this URL using OpenAI API playground. Just type this and you will actually be taken to the very same page which I'm accessing right now. Now, if you can see the tools option right here, you can just click on this tool option. It gives you multiple options. You can select MCP server right here, and then it gives you a bunch of MCP servers that you can directly use. You can just click on add new. As soon as you do that, you can actually paste this MCP server URL right here. Then the label. So I will just write Pabbly MCP, and whether it needs any authentication or not, Pabbly MCP server actually includes an authentication within the URL itself. So you don't need to provide any other authentication. So just mark it as none and just click the connect button. Now you can see it is trying to establish the connection, and it gave you all the tools that are available inside the Pabbly Connect MCP server right here. So as you can see, there are 3 tools and all those 3 tools are listed right here. And it is asking us, how do you want the approval to happen? Do you want it to happen automatically, or whether you want the approval to be given every time, or never require approval for any tool call, or configured on a tool specific basis? So at this moment, I will write always require approval for all tool calls, and then I will just click on add. As soon as I do that, you can see the Pabbly MCP is now added as a tool inside this specific thing. Now I will be writing a prompt, and I will be writing a prompt. Can you add the following data to the customer sheet? Or in fact, before even adding the data, I will generate few customer names and customer emails. Can you generate 10 different random customer names and emails? Okay. And it actually generated 10 different customer names and emails right here. And then it is asking us, let me know if you would like to automatically add this to Google Sheet or need a CSV file, right? So I will just write, please add these emails, or please add this entire data to the Google Sheets, right? I can even mention customers Google Sheet, but just in this case, I'm not mentioning it. I have also opened up the customer sheet right here, and you can see currently there are just 9 records, or in fact 8 records in this sheet. Now what I'm going to do is, please add this entire data to Google Sheet, and as you can see, there are 10 different data. So I will just fire up this specific thing, and it is now asking us whether you want this assistant to run or not. And if you are right here, you can actually see that it automatically selected the right tool for us, right? It selected the Google Sheet add new row to customer sheet automatically, right? And I'm just going to press on approve button right here. And as soon as I do that, it is now asking us for approval again. You can see the first record is right here. We are just going to approve it all over again. The second record is added. The third record is added, and it will go on to add all the records one by one. Now I'm just declining this record just because when I created this tool, I actually chose the option to always ask me for the permission, right? So I'm going to decline it for now. And it is asking us, would you like to continue and add remaining customers as well? If yes, please provide your approval to proceed. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on this tool again. And this time I'm just writing never require approval for any tool call. And I'm just going to update it. And this is very, very interesting, right? Now what I will do is, can you add the records in my Google Sheet? Now it will actually not ask us for the permission, and it will actually run it one by one automatically. And you can see how amazingly it writes all the data in the customer sheet, right? And it will keep on running. And the beauty of this MCP is that we didn't tell it that which specific tool it has to choose. It automatically chose the very correct tool on its own. Now, just to give an example, what I will do is I will now create, can you generate 10 random name and email of the vendors, okay, for my SaaS business. So this is a 10 random name and email, and as you can see, it actually generated 10 different name and email of different vendors. Now I'm going to open up the vendors sheet. You can see my vendor sheet right here, right? And this is the vendor sheet which is actually connected to this Google Sheet add new row to vendor sheet tool right here, right? Now this time I will not be telling it to add it to the vendor sheet. I will just write, can you add this tool, this data to the Google Sheet? Now I didn't specify whether I want to add this data to the customer sheet or whether I want to add it to the vendor sheet. But because it is very smart, it will automatically pick the right tool automatically. Now see which tool it picks. Now Google Sheet add new row to vendor sheet, and it automatically picked the vendor sheet data, vendor sheet tool, and it is adding the data one by one automatically. Now I don't actually have a tool right now for verifying the email. But just in case if I had an action already configured inside Pabbly Connect for verifying an email, I can even tell it that only add the data inside vendor sheet where the email is correct, right? And it will actually first verify the email addresses through the email verification tool. And once it is verified, it will only send the verified data to the next tool. And it is simply amazing. And this is how the MCP works in a very, very simple way, where you configure your actions in different workflow. In my case, I actually configured it in the my MCP workflow itself. So let me just show you the action. So these are two different actions. If you can see right here, I didn't actually mapped anything. I just added customer sheet, sheet 1, and then I clicked this 3 dots and I added this action to the MCP server. When I'm saying adding an action to the MCP server, it actually means adding a tool to the MCP server. Whatever we call as actions inside Pabbly Connect becomes tools in the terminology of MCP servers. So we just configured this action with customer sheet and then we added this to MCP server. To add this tool to MCP server, you just have to give the tool name and what exactly this tool does. Better the tool name and better the description, better the AI will be able to select your tool at the time of running the step that you are asking it to run, right? Now I actually configured another action step. This time I chose the vendor sheet with sheet 1. And again, in the 3 dots, you can add this to the MCP server. Once you add all the tools to the MCP servers, they will be added right here. Just remember, whenever you are going to add a tool, there will be a slight delay of around 5 minutes before that tool starts to show up inside OpenAI. But after 5 minutes, it will all be configured and you can actually connect your action or the tool like the way I showed you. Just click this button, choose add new MCP server, just enter this MCP server URL and you are good to go. So thank you for watching this video, a very short video, but I think it will explain you how the MCP system works. Thank you.